Enthusiasm. In a world where I say hello. It is Thursday, May 17th. Welcome to episode 8 of Blisspoint, a podcast and website serving up music discussion, news, show, and album reviews, and more. My name is Jordan Kaufman, and I'm joined by my lovely co-hosts, Billy Gatewood.
Hello.
And Mr. Paul Kolb.
Hi, Jordan.
Hey, howdy. How's it going? How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Just want to a quick shout out to the Washington Capitals.
Woo! Oh, sorry.
It is hello. Woo, yikes.
Sorry. He can't actually hear you. He can't hear you.
He's trying to yell over the impending heartbreak.
Wow.
So we'll see. No, we're fine. We're fine. It's just game 4. It's no big deal.
If game 4 happens to occur during the recording of this podcast,
Sure.
It's going to be on.
Yeah. Putting it on somewhere. All right. With that, let's jump into some news. So this first up, Robin Pecknold being a stand-up gentleman. Robin is from Fleet Foxes. He's the singer and the brainchild of the project. And he's going to help you finish your song, which I thought was pretty neat. It's pretty cool for someone as big as him to kind of reach out and be like, hey, I'll help you write and do whatever, because he's super talented.
Yeah, what a cool concept.
Yeah, it's really neat. Especially only possible in this era of social media and internet music. But you can tweet him or whatever, send your shit to his SoundCloud account, and he's going to finish a track once a week for the foreseeable future, which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Pretty cool of him. This new Queen biopic, or I guess it's a Freddie Mercury biopic, it's called Bohemian Rhapsody. Did you guys see it?
I haven't seen the trailer yet, but I've heard a bunch about it.
It's okay. It's kind of different than what I was expecting. I don't know really what I was expecting. But it kind of shows Freddie off, obviously, because it's about him. And it's shot in like a cool montage way that cuts together their music and stuff. So it could be cool.
How does Remy look like Freddie?
He looks incredible.
Really?
Yeah. Like I was talking to my wife Sarah on the way home today, and I was telling her that like my favorite Freddie is the shaved head, close cut with the mustache, and he looks amazing in that. I don't know if it's just me. I don't like Freddie any other way.
Okay. Yeah.
But he looks pretty spot on.
I'm unprepared. You didn't say we had to pick a Freddie.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only one to pick is the mustache with the shaved head, like with Live Aid. I think.
Yes.
Like the iconic like tank top, blue jeans, like
good.
Classic.
Wasn't Sacha Baron Cohen originally supposed to play?
He was,
right?
And then I think I don't know if they started shooting or whatever, but he was ousted. But
they want him to come off as likable.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. But he probably tried to make it this weird, like, funny thing. So I don't know what that was. Anyway, Ticketmaster gonna start caching your face in their databases forever. They have partnered with a company called Blink Identity that focuses on facial recognition technology, which is pretty neat. And they're working on enabling you to associate your ticket that you have bought with your face. And I'm curious how this is going to affect ticket reselling. Like, I don't know how this is going to...
purchasing, is that?
Yeah.
Or people who are in horrific accidents.
Yikes. That too, yeah.
Yikes.
I guess you won't be able to get into your show anymore. It seems like a pain, honestly. Like, whatever their angle is probably to just make more money, I'm assuming. I don't know. Ticketmaster doesn't do anything just for the hell of it or just to be nice. So, yeah. I don't know. It's a neat thing for the future, and I'm just wondering how it'll affect the business. Because everybody's trying to clamp down on reselling and scalping and shit like that, but I don't know how this affects that directly.
Right.
Or how it's going to prevent that, because they can just still buy tickets.
Could it be a matter of how fast you get into the venue?
Maybe.
Is it a convenience thing?
I guess. I don't know. If anything, I think it would
security
slow down.
Yeah,
I think it would slow down the thing, because you have to not only unlock your phone and find your tickets in your phone, you have to say, oh shit, let me get in the right light to have my phone look at my face, unlock my tickets, and then show you the tickets. Like,
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. In other news of why the hell are they doing this, 36 Chambers, the infamous and classic hip-hop album by the Wu-Tang Clan, is being remade with 9 new rappers.
No. This is stupid.
This is the most cash grab, dumb thing I've ever heard of, honestly. And I don't know if they're going to be changing the beats at all, or if it's literally they're going into the studio with the stems and everything, and then they're just recording the same verses over them. Because if they don't change it, it's stupid. Like, why are they even going in the studio? And if they do change it, it ruins the album. Like, there's no winning with this situation
that's interesting.
at all.
I wonder if they just like remaster the beats they already have.
I don't know.
But I don't like any form of it I could imagine.
No.
If it's new verses, what's the point?
Yeah, it's really stupid. And
I don't want this practice to slip over into music.
God.
Like, movies are that way.
Yeah,
Right, remakes.
Yeah,
And they want something that's proven already, but I don't know. And
I don't know if this works the same way.
Even covers in music, I don't know why hip-hop should be any different, but the cool factor is completely gone.
Absolutely.
With a rap cover. It's weird.
The whole purpose of that album, or rather its legacy, is that you brought in 9 of these completely different rappers with all different styles, different levels of charisma, and different skills, and they made this amazing amalgam thing. And you bring in 9 new SoundCloud rappers that all sound the same, or whoever the hell they're going to bring in, even if it's Kendrick Lamar. Like, I don't know that it's going to carry the same weight that it did back then.
It's not even a matter of skill or artistry.
Right.
Like, you could bring in great rappers like Kendrick, but it's just a strange idea.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
You made a really good point, Paul. Yeah, I didn't really think about that. Like, you can bring in a white girl with a ukulele and cover a rap song, but another rapper can't cover a rap song. It just doesn't seem natural or appropriate or
it's
right.
Really dumb.
I don't know why that is either.
Yeah,
it might be because of just the production style of hip-hop. The fact that you sample a lot anyway.
Yeah.
I think the culture would not agree with it at all. Like, rock songs, like, I don't think anybody gives a shit. It's mostly people that want to hear the same songs forever that listens to rock anyway.
Is it because rap's just more personal?
I guess.
Like,
well, yeah, a lot of it is.
You know, like,
not all.
it wouldn't be fair to tell somebody else's story.
You
and
put Macklemore on Wu-Tang Clan, like, the whole song takes an entirely
right.
different meaning.
Yeah,
it's like you didn't experience these things at all. Why are you rapping about them?
Right.
So, and apparently they're going to do a 25th anniversary tour to commemorate the album's anniversary. But good luck getting 9 of those guys in the same bus again. Like, no way that happens.
Yeah,
no
Jay-Z
way.
had a great line on the David Letterman special on Netflix.
Oh,
And
shit.
Letterman,
How is that?
It's so good.
You liked it?
And Letterman's like, so tell me about hip-hop. Like, is everything you guys talk about real? And Jay-Z's like, no, it's all a lie. Like, nobody raps about, like, a real experience.
Yeah, right.
And David Letterman's just, like, mind blown. Like, wait, what? He's like, yeah.
You mean to tell me
it's
people
not
on the
real.
internet lie?
Yeah, so it's just funny. So when I say it's personal, I guess it's really not, because none of it's true.
Yep.
We're on to you, Rick Ross.
This next one, I was informed by a friend that it was rumored to be happening, but it seems to be official now. Google Play will officially be dead at some point in the future, and it's going to be replaced by a revamped YouTube Music. So YouTube Music already exists everywhere. It's a shitty segmentation of the original YouTube. It just kind of silos everything music related into a different app. You can still listen to music in YouTube, but some functionality is limited to the YouTube Music app. It's fucking stupid and very Google. But the new YouTube Music hits next week, May 22nd. And it's there's a free ad supported tier, and then you can pay to have YouTube Music for $10 a month. Which is pretty standard for every other music service. And existing subscribers to Google Play will get access to the new YouTube Music automatically. Google Play is going to be phased out, but there's no timeline on that yet. They're still kind of wishy-washy, deciding, when they want to actually phase it out. Could be as far out as next year. And YouTube Red, which is their premium YouTube service, which you get with Google Play Music now, is getting rebranded as YouTube Premium, and it will include YouTube Music, and they're increasing the price from $10 to $12. I don't know how I feel about this.
What makes it stand out from Spotify, or what's different than Google Play? For the same price?
Pretty much nothing.
Nothing.
As far as I understand, they've only shown, I think there's a couple of videos discussing it, but it's all PR marketing bullshit, so it doesn't get into like the nitty-gritty of what it actually does. So I'll be interested to see how different it is, because if it's YouTube based and not album based, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm totally out. So we'll see. It just seems like another way to confuse people who are trying to just listen to music. And I'll be honest, Google Play Music is not great. It's not my favorite service.
No, right.
It's not fully featured at all. So I'm hoping that maybe this rectifies some of that. But I don't know. It's just very confusing. And also, like, they don't really get into detail about, like, how I can still watch ad-free YouTube, which is almost a necessity at this point.
Right.
And whether that's going to be included, or if you just buy that separately, like, how much is that? And I don't know.
They probably will try to bundle. I mean, I have no idea, but
I'm sure
there's got to be something additional to it, because a lot of people already have Spotify accounts.
Yeah, and they'll probably do like family plans like they do now. So I'm very curious to see what it is. I'm definitely going to check it out next week. And this last one, I did not think would affect me in the way that it did, and it really, really bummed me out. So Frightened Rabbit is this awesome Scottish indie rock band, and the singer posted some startling tweets last week about loving the ones that you're close to and how he fucked up and he's going to be gone. So then immediately everyone freaked out. They're like, "Oh shit, he's gone missing!" And then I think 2 or 3 days later, they found him. They found him dead on a beach. They haven't released details of his passing yet. It's super tragic, and someone who has been open in talking about his battle with depression and has written about it a lot in his music and kind of made light of it and made it really interesting. So really, really dark news from them. And just rest in peace to him and his family and the band, and hopefully everything gets resolved in a way that everyone can move on peacefully. So yeah, with that, let's move into what we have been listening to. And that encompasses the best, worst, good, noteworthy, mediocre, important, inconsequential, sometimes album-related shows, singles, and new releases of the week. And up first, we have shows. And Billy, you want to talk about Miss Soccer Mommy?
I sure do.
Who we love quite a bit, actually.
We love Soccer Mommy.
Yeah,
I love
Soccer
Soccer
Mommy.
Mommy.
In February, I think. That sounds about right.
Sure.
It was really good.
So she was actually opening for Speedy Ortiz.
Right. Who we also recommended last week.
Yeah, right. So hitting all the...
Yeah, checking all the
boxes.
Yeah.
Right. If I was to... I get complaints from mostly my girlfriend, Maggie, that I sound like I'm on NPR when I talk on this
when
podcast.
Your mouth is right up on the mic.
Yeah, like but I will say, in my defense, I sound way more excited than Soccer Mommy sounds when she's performing.
Boy, and she's an opener too.
Yeah, so she was. I mean, they were incredible. They were really good. I really enjoyed the show.
Speedy Ortiz or Soccer Mommy?
No, Soccer Mommy.
Okay.
But God, she could not have been less thrilled to be there.
And I wonder if it's like a nerves thing.
Maybe she's just too cool for school.
It comes off that way. It comes off as too cool for school, and it's really annoying.
It's like, don't come out here with that bullshit.
That's what it looks like in the videos, though. There was a clear warning. She told you what to expect. You just didn't listen.
So this is my fault. Why am I? That's a perfect point, Paul. This is my fault for expecting something different when she told me what to expect. And I shouldn't expect anything else.
And I wrote Soccer Mommy on here, but I realized that, like, we completely gloss over Speedy Ortiz. How was that part of the show?
It was good.
It was certainly okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're fine.
Yeah.
They're good.
It seems about right. It doesn't seem like my dream show, especially considering if she comes out and she's, like, boring. Like,
I mean, Speedy Ortiz had a lot more energy. Like, they were fun to watch.
Yeah.
And
she's not boring. She's alternative.
I heard all the songs I wanted to hear. Like I saw Lucky 88 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I saw the one song I wanted to hear. Sorry, I'm yelling.
You're clipping, bro.
Super excited.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah. So I mean, I heard what I wanted to hear, and they played some old stuff, and it was good. Why are you turning me down?
I don't want you to hurt yourself, buddy. I don't want you to hurt yourself. So singles, a lot of good music coming out. Especially after kind of a dead zone the last couple weeks. It's been rough for us. It was rough for me this week to pick good music. And last week I know everybody had trouble. But new Florence. New album coming out. Florence and the Machine. New album coming out June 29th. Jamie XX, Kamasi Washington, and Sampha, or Sampa, have contributed to the album, which has me super stoked. Her last album was excellent. And this new track, Hunger, what'd you guys think?
So I'm not a huge Florence fan, and this song is incredible.
It's good.
It's so good.
It's going to be the album to win over Billy.
It might. This song...
I'm genuinely surprised you do not like Florence.
Yeah, it's just a little...
Or
too,
it's not your
a
thing.
little too much for me.
Too much what?
Too much swagger?
Yes, I'm not that cool.
Oh,
and she's real cool.
You're very into...
But I'll tell you what, after that Soccer Mommy show, that's a performer with stage presence.
This is true.
She gets you involved.
She owns the track. And I like the... I wasn't sure I was into it, and then the chorus kind of kicks in.
Oh my god!
The piano and drums.
The
and
way it
everything,
builds
and
consistently as the track progresses.
Very, very good.
It's really good.
And just kind of Florence hitting the bar. I mean, her bar is very high, at least for me. And it's more good Florence. So, this next track, MJ, by Now, who I have been wanting to hear from forever.
Right?
I love them so much. I saw them open for Kevin Devine, and they stole the show for me.
Really?
Like, that just blew me away. Really cool, like, dark guitar-driven indie rock. A lot of, like, emotional lyrics and very cool kind of conceptual stuff on their album Threads.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear the good live.
Yeah, it's very, very good. But they have disappeared for a while. The other guitarist in the band is now doing her own thing full time. So it's just the main singer and guitarist and the drummer doing their own thing. So they kind of have reinvented themselves, like more synth poppy direction. Kind of remind me of Wyoke a lot. How Wyoke used to be kind of that guitar driven sound, and then now they're more synth pop.
Yeah.
But this is definitely way poppier.
It's way poppier.
And what do you guys think?
I mean, I loved it. I mean, I knew the old stuff.
Sure.
And I almost wasn't sure if it was the same band when when the single came out, because they had been gone for so long and I hadn't heard anything. I didn't realize they released a single a few months ago. This was the first single I saw that they released, and I was like, it sounded like her, so I knew it was them, but I was like, they went in a completely different direction, and I love it. It's really good.
Paul?
I like it. It's really catchy. It's good pop.
It is.
I'm not as familiar with their old work.
I think you would like them.
Have the vocals always been that kind of really breathy 90s sort of?
Yes. It's a little... I think it's better produced on their old stuff. Like, she has more presence. In this track, it kind of gets drowned out a little bit.
Yeah.
So you don't really notice it.
Wait, she does, or the instrument?
She does, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think it's
I might have to
different.
listen to that again.
Yeah, it's definitely different. For sure. Their new album, Saved, is out tomorrow. Friday.
Is it really?
Yep. Friday, May 18th.
Cutting edge.
I'm excited.
So, Death Grips.
Infamous
Death Grips. So they released a single Streaky week or two ago, which was okay. And then they released Black Paint last week, and holy shit. Like, consistently reinventing themselves, doing whatever the fuck they want, and it continues here on this weird post-punk, like, it doesn't even feel hip-hop anymore. Like, it's fucking great. I loved it. What'd you guys think?
I like it. I like that sludgy doom fuzz guitar sound.
Yeah, very lo-fi. I think we were joking about how everything kind of sounds clumped together. Like, just the drums sound kind of farther away.
It sounds like it was recorded all in the same space, which would be insane for that style of music.
I could totally see them doing it, too.
You made that joke, and then it really made sense. Like, they just put an overhead mic over.
They're probably like recording into like a fucking like MacBook.
Yeah.
And just like, I don't know.
The drummer sounds like they're down the street, and the vocalist is like I don't know,
yelling, clipping into the microphone.
Not in a bad way, though. No. That's always been their style in the production, is that kind of more raw sounding. Yeah. At least that's how it's perceived.
Yes. Yeah. And it's great. Definitely has me excited for Year of the Snitch, which I don't think they've put a release date on yet, but their new album should be coming out soon. Taking the World by Storm. And I just want to say, just want to point out real quick. Do you remember a couple weeks ago when we talked about Childish Gambino and Donald Glover on SNL?
Do you remember?
You guys remember?
Do you remember more weeks ago than that when you're like, Childish Gambino's dead?
Yeah,
R.I.P.
shut up, guys. It's whatever. Let me get to the point that actually is cool for me. So he hosted SNL. Donald Glover hosted SNL, and he also performed music as Childish Gambino. Mm-hmm. And I just want to point out for the record here that I was like, I think he's going to be releasing new music. Why else would he be on the show? Mm-hmm. And I think both of you, if anything, it was just Billy that was like, nah, man, he's just going to be on the show. Like, he's just going to do some stuff. Yeah, he's the triple threat. He does what he wants. I just want to point that out for the record. This new track, Childish Gambino, This Is America,
nice shot at me.
Is cool. Fucking rad.
I'm down with you just taking the blame for shit I said. This is fantastic.
Oh, you said it? Cool.
No, Billy definitely said it. That's what I remember.
I mean, we're going to find out because what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause here and I'm going to punch in the old episode and just have it.
Oh, this is where you flex your editing chops.
Yeah, exactly.
You've saved it to now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Exactly. I know, Billy, you and I were kind of conflicted. At least I know you and I talked about how we didn't really like the track
just based
at first.
off the SNL performance is the first time I heard it.
Okay. I'd only watched the video. I haven't seen the SNL performance, so I don't know. I mean, SNL performances are usually bad. At least in historically.
I take it you weren't impressed based on that?
No, I watched the video first when it came out, and I just wasn't into how simple it was.
Right.
Or lyrically. It just, he was repeating a lot of things, and the weird beat switch I wasn't really into. Mm-hmm. But having listened to it, I don't know, 10 times now, and shown the video to so many people, I fucking love it. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
I listen to it daily.
Yeah.
At least once a day.
I think it really needs the visual component the first time.
It does.
Not the first time someone experiences it, but I think once you have both and you associate the two, that's really... You see the piece as a whole.
Absolutely. And
it wouldn't do as much for me without the video.
I agree. I completely agree.
We could probably spend a whole episode just going in, like, we really talking about the video.
I mean, there's been
but let's not
millions of articles discussing everything that is getting broken down and whatever the hell else is in the video. It is directed by Hiro Murai. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Who also directs a lot of Atlanta episodes. Mm-hmm. Weekly reminder: if you haven't watched Atlanta yet, I don't know what the hell you're doing. It's the best show on TV right now. Bar none. Nothing else comes close to it. I guarantee it.
Do we get some of the FX money that they're giving you to promote it every week?
No, I should reach out and say,
spread the wealth.
Hey, I'm plugging your show a lot. But this is America broke Drake's 15-week Billboard record.
Wow.
So he is sitting at the top of the Billboard
right now. Look at that. Your best bud Drake falling from the top.
My best buddy Drake.
Sucks.
Yep. Shut up. I hate you. That's what it says in the notes here.
I don't know if you heard, but he came all the way from the bottom.
He did.
Well, he's going back down.
Yeah, he's on his way back down. Streaking at number 2. He's doing terrible. Rolling in money.
Only 15 weeks on
not in first place, top. You're in last place.
Exactly. But yeah, check it out. Watch the video. Do everything you need to because it's great and you don't want to miss it. New Jimmy Eat World. I am tentatively medium.
I'm pretty optimistic about this.
You think so?
I am.
Okay.
It's a nice little throwback to their future days.
It does. It sounds a lot like that, and which I'm okay with. Yeah. I have come to know Jimmy Eat World and love them for kind of doing their thing very well. Mm-hmm. And this is more of that. Tracks are Love Never and Half Heart. They're awesome. I mean, they're one of my favorite bands from high school. I love them a lot. But I don't know. I'm wondering if I'm just getting tired of this shtick. This certainly sounds better than their last album, Integrity Blues.
Yes.
But I don't know. I know you like it.
I'm very optimistic. I thought it was the better singles that they've put out in many, many years.
Yes, I agree.
I don't think they've put out singles this good since Futures, probably.
Yeah, that's
and fair. It's a nice the first single is a nice upbeat Futures type single. Mm-hmm. Second song's a little slower, almost like Off Fleet American.
Yes, definitely had that Jimmy ballad kind of feel to it, which
they do really, really well.
Yeah. Paul, you like Jimmy, right?
Yeah, and I think this is a return to form.
Yes.
It's not just it's a decent Jimmy track. It's the precise flavor of Jimmy Eat World that I liked.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely scratches that nostalgia itch.
Yeah, so, for sure.
If anything, I'm going to listen to it a couple times, with the windows down. Hot summer day. I don't know if they've announced an album yet. I'm assuming.
Not that I saw.
I'm assuming there's one coming.
Yeah,
we'll see. New Anderson .Paak dropped maybe 2 or 3 hours ago. Saw it on my way home from the gym.
Cool.
And
that doesn't sound safe.
Had to check it out. I wasn't driving, so it's okay. Had to check it out. I love it. I need some more Anderson .Paak in my life. Very much into it. Were you guys familiar with Anderson .Paak before we watched that video a couple months ago? Till It's Over. That's Spike Jones' joint.
I was familiar, but I don't listen to him frequently enough.
Okay. What did you guys think of this? Called Bubblin'.
Yeah, I really, really liked it. It has a really good flow. The rhythm section's very simplistic. And then, I hate to bring up the visual again, but the video has that good 90s feel. Not the cheesy kind either.
I wonder if I'm just saying this because the coat is the same, but it seems like a very thrift store video. It doesn't have that viral quality to the video, but the track is excellent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the track's really good.
He is charismatic as always, and I can't wait to see what he does next. No album announcement as of yet. And this last track, Kiss by Pale Waves. Pale Waves or Pale Wave?
Pale Wave.
Pale.
God, now you've got me questioning.
Yeah, Jesus. Goddamn right. The people want to know, Billy. Is it multiple waves or is it just one? It's okay. Well, it's fine. I don't think people will get confused.
Pale Waves.
Yeah, Pale Waves. Yes. Sure. What'd you think?
Right.
What do you think of the Dream Pop flavor of the week?
Oh, it was really good, right?
It is good.
I like it a lot.
I was surprised at how much.
Enjoyed it.
I was surprised at how much I liked it.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it has the instrumental, like the instrumental kicks in first, and I'm like, okay, here we go again. Like here it is, and then super powerful vocals.
Her vocals are really good. Yeah. She's got some really exciting dynamic vocals that kind of
not washed out at all, which I'm very much into. I think it's neat that they're doing. It kind of reminds me of Always a lot.
Yeah.
Like kind of that,
I can see that
80s rock kind of feel with very powerful female vocals. So
is that Always with 2 V's?
Yes, Always. Yeah. Did you guys feel anything else towards this track? Make you feel anything else? No.
Okay. Nah, you covered it. I don't really have much to say.
Okay.
It's good.
No, it is.
I assure you of that.
It is superbly good. Superbly medium. Superbly okay.
There we go.
Somewhere in there. Next up, new releases. Second best part of this podcast. And we're going to get into this 80s as fuck album. Woo! By Mr. Timecop 1983. Album is called Night Drive. Billy, let's get into it.
Can you have a more basic 80s album title than Night Drive?
When you sent this to us, I don't know how else you could think what other type of music this is. Like, if I pulled it up and it was hip hop, I would have been genuinely surprised and amazed that it wasn't synthwave. But to no one's surprise, it is fucking 80s ass synthwave.
It sure is.
Yeah.
It sure is, and it's beautiful.
It's good. I liked it.
Okay.
I did.
Good.
I'll let you talk about it, and then we can get into.
Oh, I mean, it's
what
just like you said. It's one of my favorite styles of music, which is just 80s inspired electronica,
and I have to ask because you're more familiar with the stuff than I am. What kind of sets this apart for you that other synthwave stuff doesn't?
You know what? 80s. This is what I tell everybody, and nobody will believe me, except for my friend Danny, because he believes me. 80s inspired synthwave electronica is the same music that emo kids love.
Sure.
It's the exact same chord progressions. It's all minor keys.
Okay.
It's emo vocals.
Sure.
It's just
I'm with you.
Not live instrumentation.
Yeah, none of those pesky strings getting in
the
way.
But even still, some of it is live.
That's fair.
I mean, you've got live vocals, you've got live keys,
some guitars,
you hear some guitar.
Yeah.
I mean, it's mostly synth based, but it reminds me a lot of all the emo music I love.
It's got that like this album in particular.
Oh, suck a dick! Yeah, Cap scored. All right, sorry. Woo! Oh, I'm sorry, God.
This is a beacon of professionalism over here.
Oh man. But yeah,
sorry.
I don't know if it's just this album in general or maybe the genre. Probably just the genre. It does feel very shoegaze. It has that vibe to it. That very kind of, dark, gloomy production.
It's very moody. It's designed to be listened to like at night. Like, I know it's called Night Drive, so it's a stupid obvious statement, but it's designed to be listened to like late at night or it's not hype music.
It does that aesthetic very, very well.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing that I like about it is how well it sticks to that vibe, right?
Yeah.
And he kind of went in with an idea and kind of stuck to it. And it's very consistent. Production's really, really good. What was I going to say? It's gone forever.
You used a really good word in your notes here. Just cinematic.
Oh yeah,
which
it does feel very cinematic.
Yes,
it definitely captures again the album title Night Drive is this very much feels like a Night Drive album.
Yeah,
he kind of stuck to his guns and did it very well.
Yeah.
I think my only complaint, my main complaint with this album is that I could have done without the features.
Yeah, there's one feature I don't like at all, and I can't remember which song.
Okay, there's two that I hated in particular. LeBrock is,
I think, that
a singer.
Yeah,
it's awful.
I think that's what I didn't like.
It's way, way, way too 80s.
Yeah,
it strikes that chord that I don't like. And then there's a girl feature, Kenny Lane.
Oh, yeah,
which sounds like a more obnoxious Ellie Goulding. I'm just not into it.
Okay.
The Midnight feature was pretty good. I didn't mind that one.
Right. What a way to open it up.
Yeah, some pretty nice vocals. And then the Bad Dreamers feature was okay.
Yeah, so the opening track is it's probably one of my favorites on the album. But I love the Midnight. And that's Static. Another great track is Back to You. And Neon Lights, all good vocal tracks. He's got a lot of good instrumental tracks as well, but those three in particular are very solid vocal tracks.
And it's very good, like we've stated a million different ways before, but it's very good vibing out music.
Yeah, so it kind of sounds like the Midnight, FM84, VHS Dreams.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Are you into vaporwave at all?
No.
Okay, it kind of scratches that itch. Vaporwave is like lo-fi hip hop meets like synthwave kind of.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Does a lot of the same vibes, and this reminded me a lot of vaporwave, just not lo-fi at all. Moving on, Mr. Paul, you want to talk about your pick? Yeah?
Oh, I really do.
Do you?
Yeah.
You into it? Where are we going?
Oh, we're probably going with that 70s punk vibe. So Matador had my back this week.
Yes, they did. They usually do.
So here's the thing. I like punk music, but I'd like more the 70s sound than kind of the 80s and early 90s. And
you like it loose, like a little raw.
I do, but it's just a different flavor.
Sure.
Like just the guitar sounds I get, it's hard to describe. It's just the vibe is very 70s. I like what they're doing with the vocals. It's a band
What is this?
He got me. So this week it's Beyondless by Iceage.
One word.
That's one word. Oh, he beat me to it.
We're jinx.
God, Papa, why don't you read it?
I'm sorry.
So I really enjoyed it. I couldn't make it my album of the week.
Why is that? I'm curious.
It just wasn't consistent throughout. As much as I liked tracks like Hurrah, The Day the Music Dies, and Painkiller, it just, toward the end, I think it lost a little momentum.
I agree.
A lot of the same strengths of this album, where they blend that punk sound more with some acoustic flavor, a little bit more kind of slow, heartfelt stuff. It's nice that they're experimenting, but it didn't necessarily hold up all the way throughout.
Sure.
But I think it's worth trying just for those tracks.
Dude, I loved this album, and I still love it. I think it will make my top 25 for this year. It's just so good. Maybe you can help me figure this out. So twice they use this like really trebly, like I don't know how else to describe it, but it sounds like medieval like guitar, like tremolo picked. Kind of sounds a little Asian influence, like not quite a kodo, but something like that. It pops up twice, like on Hurrah and a little bit on Catch It. I don't know if you...
I didn't catch that, but
okay.
I mean, what you're describing sounds, if it's not Kodo, it could be like a shamisen or something.
Okay, yeah, that definitely...
That like fretless plucked instrument.
Sure. Yeah, but, and that was unexpected for me. It was real neat.
Yeah, and I liked the little bit of experimentation they were doing on it. And I wish I could say I liked everything really well, but especially with a vocalist that's more into that punk style, as raw and heartfelt as it can be with the slower tracks, it just doesn't hold up the same way when the vocalist isn't strong in that traditional sense. Like a lot of things that are more forgivable when they're being heavier kind of don't work as well if it's a very clean, stripped down acoustic track.
Absolutely.
So, they're holding out notes really long and it goes a little flat, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. And it feels one of the complaints about this album that I have about the next album is I feel the same way. Like he's very loose. He sounds like he's drunk, like he's very slurred, and I like that a lot on where he's complimenting guitars. But definitely when it's him in the mix by himself, it's kind of hard to get through.
But the thing is, I feel like they're really coming to their own either way. Mm-hmm. Like they're always pushing something a little bit different on each album, and they're just becoming more cohesive.
Yeah.
I think, maybe they started releasing stuff around 2009.
That sounds about right.
And at that time, I think most of the members of the band were about 17 years old.
Yeah, they're super young.
So they're getting polished now.
Yeah.
It's good. It's worth checking out.
They're most approachable for sure, and has a ton of good stuff on it.
Yeah. So, once again, hurrah, The Day the Music Dies and Painkiller will be on our playlist. If you like Proto-Martyr or Ott, I'm not as familiar with this one. What's Preoccupations?
Just more like 80s influence, like post-punk. It's way more cleaned up and groovier than this. This kind of feels more straight up like rock and punk rock, but definitely has kind of the same vibe to it.
I realize I'm terrible at related artists and what things sound like, and I'm always wrong. I kept hearing The Strokes, and I don't know why.
Okay.
But go back and listen to it, especially like the first track.
Okay.
Go back and listen. I bet you'll hear a little bit of The Strokes.
It's probably just the lazy vocals.
Probably.
That's a bad way to describe it, but it's...
But accurate.
It is, I think.
It's like... No. I don't know. To me, Strokes is that like singing into just a shoddy bullet mic.
Yeah.
Fair.
Hey, in that way, the quality is kind of similar, especially.
You don't have to. Stuff. You don't have to make me sound like I know what I'm talking about.
I think you're wrong then.
Yeah,
in that case,
I know I'm wrong.
You're fully prepared.
Yes,
and even if he isn't, he'll take credit.
Yes, absolutely. So next up, in the world of weird singing. Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino by Arctic Monkeys. Definitely did not make over the hump for me.
Yeah.
I was really kind of vibing with it the first time I listened to it. And the more I listen to it, the more the back half of the album just kind of falls off for me. And I fucking love the instrumentals on this thing. Again, coming up with, if this album was entirely instrumental, I'd totally be into it. It sounds very much like a Bad Not Good produced effort. It's got that timbre, like old school, like lounge kind of pop music vibe to it. But the worst part about it is Alex Turner's vocals. He's just not strong enough of a singer to carry this entire album, and it feels very much like a singer-songwriter effort because there's just no manic energy like they used to have, which I'm fine with. I think these guys are chronically overrated. I've always liked their stuff, but I've felt that they've done the same thing for kind of ever.
Yeah.
So to see them do something new was very exciting, and I like that they kind of went into it and leaned into the experimentation. But I just don't think the execution's there all the way.
Yeah. So, and when you first mentioned that this was going to be your pick, I think I said that it's good, but I don't like it.
And I don't know why. Some money put behind it, and it's produced very well.
Yeah, and like you said, the way I describe it is it's like cigar lounge music. Like,
it is.
I just can't figure out why it doesn't quite hit with me.
It's I don't know,
but it's the vocals. It really is.
For me, it's definitely the vocals. I think he's much better, like spitting like punk rock, dance punk, kind of lyrics into a microphone about weird shit.
Right.
And like this album, which I didn't know this until I was reading about it today, is being billed as a concept album, or at least there's one article that I read.
Oh, that word makes me nervous.
So and this is from Stereo Gum, where I got it from. The album is based on the idea of an expensive luxury resort on the moon, located on the exact spot where the 1969 moon landing touched down. One that's maybe become a high-class sleazy swingers getaway, like a futuristic version of Rat Pack-era Vegas during an era of earthly environmental catastrophe, which instrumentally nails that vibe very well. Mm-hmm. The vocals, or rather the lyrics, hardly commit to that at all. It's a bunch of non sequiturs throughout the entire album. He has some good one-liners here and there, but he never commits to that concept at all.
And I don't know how they typically write, but I read for this album that he wrote everything, and he wrote it all on piano.
Okay.
And then brought it to the band, and brought it to the guitarist, and the guitarist was like, okay, this is good enough to go on the album, and then they wrote the song around it. Okay. And that's why every song seems to be very singer-songwriter, piano-based.
Very piano-driven.
I feel like the band was kind of limited to what they could do with what he was bringing to the table.
Sure.
And it just kind of falls flat.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But the best tracks are 1 Point Perspective, American Sports, and Star Treatment. Related artists, like I mentioned before, Bad Bad Not Good, Timber Timber. You can make an argument for some David Bowie, The Killers, or even Muse. Just kind of has that very expensive, rich kind of quality to it. And with that, we are down to the albums of the week. Very, very excited. Unprecedented history being made on this very episode. Billy and Paul, do you want to tell me about what happened?
I fell in love with something that Billy had already claimed some days prior.
Multiple days before.
And how'd you guys feel about it?
I feel like I have a hard time with group chat, and I have to scroll through a lot. Oh, the music.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It is. What is it?
So, our album of the week together is Middle Kids.
It's just way more fun to leave him hanging.
Let him die on the field of battle.
It's called Lost Friends, and that's how I feel.
Yeah.
I love it. Now.
Yeah.
It's a good album. What did you think of it when you first listened, Billy? First track, I mean, because it is very surprising in a certain way.
I mean, I loved it from the first track, What Bought In, I think it's called, and that is still one of my favorite songs on the album. It's hard because I want to compare it to something. I want to be able to describe it better, and I don't know why I can't. It's weirdly unique.
I think so.
It's indie, but it's like poppy and weird indie, like almost vibes of weird country in it, and it's Australian
country vibes.
That's the thing. Is it really? You can tell there's some kind of country twinge to it. It's something about her vocal range and the way they harmonize. But if you're not someone who's into country, it's not something that's going to send you running for the hills. It's really
not at
solid.
all. Yeah,
it's a sound that, to me, that voice would be just as at home in pop as some kind of indie rock. But where I feel like this really definitely at least has 1 foot in pop. There's so many things they do musically that make it far more interesting than you'd think from the first few tones. Like they're great at building a song structure that's solid enough where when they'll go a little bit dissonant or they'll do something that you don't expect, it's not too jarring.
Sure.
You know, I like that sort of thing. Yeah. So they'll build a progression, and all of a sudden when you expect them to go major, they'll go minor, and it tweaks your ear a bit.
Absolutely.
But it's still very easy to digest. And it never gets unpleasant.
They hit the sweet spot for me with this type of music on the production side, where it's not quite lo-fi, but it's not super clean, which I would hate. They hit that really nice middle ground where like everything's mixed really well, and the guitars have this really cool kind of lo-fi, very open sound to them, and then her vocals are just super high in the mix, but like she's the best part.
Yeah, she's
the
really
best part
good
about the band for sure.
Billy, I was curious what you thought about the rhythm, just because it's. I know you're the drum guy. Like, it's not as drum heavy in the way it tracks, but the rhythm parts, like the way they'll shift it up and a lot of the breakdowns in unexpected places.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no,
she'll just throw in syncopation when you don't expect it.
And it just provides that unexpected dynamic feel to it. It makes it exciting and kind of just livens the album up. It doesn't. Tracks really stand out. Like, I mean, one of my favorite tracks, Maryland, when that hits for like the first time. God, it's so good.
In the imagery and the lyrics of that, just to start out, really good.
Yes,
and they do
really paints a picture.
The track list, I think, is the best of this week. The way that they do, the way that they designed the track list to fall in a certain way.
Yeah,
they really can mix it up and do different things. The whole album isn't, one consistent like emotion. It kind of has ups and downs, but it feels natural. Like I never at any point was like looking at the track list waiting for a song to be over.
Right, yeah.
Everything just feels very effortless.
It flowed very well.
It's well put. I think you and I both chose Edge of Town in Maryland, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I think Paul, you wrote On My Knees, I think was yours.
And that's a good Billy's one too. Was Bought In, yeah. Or Bought It. You're right. You're right. Bought It.
But definitely check it out. I liked it quite a bit.
I think they come to DC soon, so let's check them out.
Oh, cool. Okay. Related artists for either of you?
Always.
Always. I think Always is very similar.
Yeah,
at least agree. the less country tracks. I say country, but it's so light. If you weren't even familiar with alt country, I don't think you would even know that.
I would even be nervous telling people about it.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah,
I don't want to turn anybody off.
I don't know. Maybe like Beach House.
I could see
like Pop Your Beach House. I don't know.
I could see the more upbeat Beach House. And I'm not familiar with Alex Leahy, but I'll trust you.
Yeah, kind of vocally similar.
Okay.
I'm familiar with Jim Leahy.
And this next one is the last one. It is On Watch by Slow Mass. And the one thing that I didn't like about this album, that I loved about Middle Kids, was the track list was laid out very, very weird.
Yeah.
So it starts off with this like 30-second harmonic intro, which is nice and kind of sets the tone at least a little bit. It kind of blends very well. And I think they just do the same thing later in the track.
Yeah, and when you say harmonic, you mean like open string guitar harmonics ring, not like a
Yes, it is
structure.
Just a harmonic tone on a guitar for 30 seconds, which is it's very nice, it's very pleasing. And they repeat it again, like not even halfway through the track. It's like 2/3 of the way in a weird place. And then, so the first 5 or 6 tracks are amazing. I love them. They vibe very, very well. They kind of fit together. And then they hit the interlude track. And then there's 4 tracks after that. And they're up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
And the worst tracks on here are the ones that are super, super hardcore. And when I heard about this album, that's what the album was built to me as, a post-hardcore album. So that's kind of what I was expecting.
For some songs.
It is, for 2 of them. And when I didn't get that on the first 5, I was like, holy shit, like this album's awesome. I love it. But anyway, getting into what's actually really good about this album, this thing does what I wish more Abel albums nowadays would do, is just making the guitars a focal point.
Yes.
Like the guitars on this thing are produced so well, and just instrumentally and songwriting wise are just so interesting, and they do a lot of cool things that aren't just power chords or just, basic rhythmic chords for 3.5 minutes for 12 tracks. Really good fuzzy distorted tones on here, a really good clean sound, and actually some acoustic tracks on here that I love. It can get really riffy, especially toward the end of the opener, or this kind of the opener, Grey Havens, toward the end of Blocks, which is one of my favorite tracks, and the end of Schemes, which is toward the end of the track list. Excellent use of melody. They have 2 vocalists, kind of reminds me of Tiger's Jaw, a girl and a guy, and they don't really do a lot of like dueling stuff. It's kind of...
No, but they did at one point early on. Was it the 3rd or 4th track? And it's really good.
Yeah. I kind of liked it more when they were kind of doing it together, and she was harmonizing off of him, and
I liked that. Yeah, that was really
vice
good.
versa.
Not stylistically, but tonally, it really reminds me of the Joy Formidable. Do you know them?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know... Did they have a male vocalist too?
Don't think so.
Oh, you're not talking about vocals.
Really just her,
okay,
I guess.
Yes. Okay, yes. Yeah. I would agree. I would definitely agree. And the real highlight for me is the lower key tracks, which I was not expecting at all, considering what it was billed as in the first 3 or 4 tracks. But the low key oldest youngest has a really cool drum and stick work at the beginning and this like nice clean guitar part, and then it kind of fades into this like beautiful shimmering ambient like tremolo picked guitar that just kind of loops, and there's this really cool contrasting lead bass line on top of that, and then it just crescendos into this loud outro with some dark lyrics about at least what I interpret as like becoming what your family always said you would, and you being disappointed in that, and knowing that your other family or even your children are destined to do the same. And there's some xylophone on this track, the author, some more cool ambient background guitar, just really cool, interesting instrumentals all over this thing that really made me fall in love with it. Do you guys feel anything different?
Yeah, I mean, well, I agree with you. There's enough variance though, track to track.
Yes.
It struck me listening to it that depending on which song you started with, you'd have a completely different first impression of what you'd find.
Yes. And I wonder if I'm now that you brought that up, I wonder if they maybe intended this to have more compilation feel, and you could start at either interlude and kind of experience it in a different way. But I don't know. It does. The track list is weird enough that I could totally see that happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Favorite tracks, My Violent Years, Oldest Youngest, and Blocks. Related artists, Tiger's Jaw, Bliss, and Cyanide Vessel. And that'll do it for this week. If you're curious about the singles and albums we talked about today, there'll be a playlist up on the website. That would be bliss.house, bliss.haus, containing all the singles and the best tracks from this week's albums. Check it out on our Spotify profile as well. Just look for Blisspoint on Spotify. Just put up a latest post today. Cherry on top. That'd be the best music from last month that we didn't talk about on the podcast. Billy, would you add? What'd you talk about?
Man, I missed so much good stuff last month.
Which is weird because weren't you struggling for stuff last week?
I was struggling, and then literally like the following episode, I'd find a million good things from the week before. So Wyoke.
So good.
Solid release.
Kind of disappointed in myself that I didn't bring it up earlier.
Right? I mean,
it's so good.
I don't know how. I guess I didn't expect it to be as good as it is, and I think I caught it right after we recorded or something like that. Good Looking Friends, a band I discovered. I don't know how. Solid, like kind of have
that
sorority
like noise vibe.
Sorority noise, modern baseball. Like to me, with all the string instrumentation, kind of a Pine Grove type vibe.
Yep. I can see that.
Really good release. Nothing Nowhere was better than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of just emo hip hop.
Yeah.
Which is his niche, and that's what he does, and he does it well.
Mm-hmm.
I have to give Maggie credit for Many Rooms. She's been asked.
I don't know how either of you sat down and listened to that thing.
It's good. She told me about it.
Doesn't sound like it.
She told me about it
it's crushing.
in like early April.
Okay.
Told me about them. And at the time, Hollow Bodies, the other album, was like the only thing out. And I was like, I will, as soon as they put a new album out, like I'll talk about it. It'll obviously be my pick of the week. It's so good. Yep. And I totally missed the album release.
My God,
completely missed it. Probably on a week that I was struggling to find something. Had no idea it came out. She didn't tell me. She just thought that I knew. And so
there she goes assuming again.
So it's so good. It's so emo. It's so sad.
It is. Prepare yourself. Definitely prepare yourself.
It's a better Julian Baker.
I would
like a much better. It's what Julian Baker wants to be.
I would agree with that statement. And I also added the Family Crest, which is a cool progressive rock band, and Master System, which is tragically fronted by Scott Hutchison, who we talked about. But excellent albums for both of those. Definitely check that out on the website. Thanks everybody for listening. Like, share, subscribe. Check us out on iTunes and leave a review, but only good reviews. We're on Google Play if you want to check us out. For long. There. Yeah, it'll be on YouTube. Well, it's already on YouTube, but it'll be on YouTube again. That's what their service is called, YouTube again. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter at BlissPointPod, and check us out on Stitcher or your favorite podcast app. And one last time, if you weren't aware, is bliss.house, bliss.haus, for all content that we do. Thanks, everybody.
Sorry I ruined this episode with all my yelling and screaming and clipping.
Apologize for nothing.